It does make sense. Now they can hear us.
Hey, how about now, guys?
Here's the deal. I was just bragging about, let me lay this out. I was bragging on how the intro scene faded beautifully into the camera with an overlay that we've never been able to use. But I forgot to insert the audio into the streaming software.
Oh, no. Well, the good news is that they can hear us now.
Yeah, you can hear us now because I made a mistake earlier, and I'm the first person to admit that. What I was saying is we're really proud of how professional the intro was. That's now over. And Nick has a sound panel. Back over to Nick. So it's pretty humbling, being live on the internet with lots of options. Today's super exciting because it is an experiment, and I have a good friend here. We've become good friends. My friend Eilon.
Hey.
And he's the creator, author. There's like a lot of names for what you do. I'll call you creator. You want to be called a creator or an author? You're both. Photographer, journalist,
founder. Creator is grand. It's serious.
I like creator.
The creator.
I like creator. So your first work, we'll pull it up here. Dust and Grooves. This is Adventures in Record Collecting. So this is a wild, wild book. Basically, you traveled all over.
Around the world.
Yeah. This is 2014.
Until 2014.
Yeah, it came out in 2014.
Yeah.
And so this is a start in a journey we'll talk about, how you got into, what do you call these books? These are like...
I mean, I would say you call it a coffee table book.
That doesn't feel good enough.
If you drink coffee.
It doesn't feel, it feels like...
a bourbon book.
Like as a historian-minded person, that like the way you're doing this and journaling stories and narrative. The coffee table book to me has that feeling of like, here's some paintings by a guy.
Like a little bit more like
these are deep.
Shallow or superficial. Yeah.
Not that paintings are shallow.
No, I mean, I meant like, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like these go deeper than a presentation. Yeah.
So it's 416 pages. It illuminates 130 vinyl collectors, their collections, and all of their environments. You were in photo exhibitions in Warsaw and France, right? Yeah. And it was featured in New York Times, Billboard, The Guardian, Esquire, Vice, Wall Street Journal. I know my stuff, man. I know all about you. I know your home address, blood type, social security number.
You know my hummus recipe?
Maybe.
Oh, man.
Maybe so.
I'm in trouble now.
We're going to talk about these two new books, Stompbox and Vintage Rarities. We'll show this here. Yeah, hold it up. This is the set of both books. What's the weight on this?
11 pounds.
11 pounds of book is what we're about to cover.
Like lifting.
So before we do that, these live episodes are brought to you by Skillshare. So we're going to roll a little ad here. Hang tight. We're going to come right back, get into this, and I'm going to interrogate you on how in the world you ended up traveling around the world for 3 years. Four. I didn't know everything. 4 years. Journaling, photographing, pedal collectors, crazy people. I'm pretty excited. Here we go. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of inspiring classes for curious people at every skill level. Explore new skills, get better at the things you already love, get lost in creativity, and join the millions of other people that are already enjoying this platform. There's tons of stuff you can learn on Skillshare. Perhaps you're a really creative person. There are classes for you. Struggling to find resources on how to start your small business? Well, you guessed it. There are classes for that as well. I wish Skillshare had existed when I started JHS. I could have taken a web developing class and made my first website way better. It was bad. And maybe JHS would be as big as Boss or Electro Harmonix by now. Probably not, and that's okay. It's fine. But there are courses that teach you how to record better audio, how to edit video. You can take classes on graphic animation. So if you ever wondered how Nick does the fancy graphic stuff on our show, you can learn to do it yourself. Nick, if you're listening right now, there is a course called Learn How to Mix Music with Young Guru. Frankly, I want all of our jams from here on out to sound like Jay-Z albums. I don't think that's too much to ask. So go take the class, Nick. Maybe I'll take it too. There's even content on how to solder and classes on understanding electronics, which is super cool if you have any interest in building pedals or gear. The classes are put together really well. They're broken down in bite-sized and easy to understand pieces. In some classes, they even go so far as to provide shopping links for the supplies you're going to need for that class. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's like college, but way cheaper, and you don't have to get good grades to keep learning. That was always my problem. There's literally thousands of topics, and the best part is that it's less than $10 a month with their annual subscription. That's like 33 cents a day. That's like a penny an hour. I don't know. I didn't really do the math because I'm bad at math, but maybe Skillshare has a math class I should take. I'll look into it. At the end of this stream, we'll be posting a link in the description. The first 1,000 people to use the link will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. Don't go right now. Go in like 20, 30 minutes after the live's over. It'll be there, and you might really like it.
I feel like just watching that. How do you, in the room, I feel smarter.
You feel super smart.
I feel so smart.
So smart.
There's like an absorption that happened, an information absorption from Skillshare. One other quick thing that's really exciting. We're going to announce a limited poster and a new t-shirt. Here's a look at it, and then we're going to model it for you, both products. So this is available now in the JHS merch store. Exclusive design by House Bear. Please go follow House Bear on Instagram. Amazing stuff. He's incredible. thehousebear.com. So we have 100 of these posters. They're really baller, high quality. And then I'm not a model, but I can get the job done. This is the shirt. It's pretty fantastic. A lot of opinions on how good it is. And Nick, could you be a poster model? Okay. We have 100 of that poster available, and the shirts are unlimited. We can print millions of shirts. So if you're out there today and you saw the ad, you saw this, and you said, "I need 1 million of these shirts." Well, guess what? We can do that. All right, you ready? I feel invigorated to be sitting here with you, just to learn. I'm excited to learn. So, how did we meet? What was the first, where did the paths cross? I mean, we met through the book. There was some point of,
Yes.
either I heard you were working on a book and harassed you to involve me,
That's about
or
right.
I think that's
I
probably,
think that's what happened.
okay. Do you regret that?
No. I'm happy that you harassed me.
Okay.
You should keep harassing people.
All right. A key is just to harass people, and stuff works out.
Yeah.
No, so we
I harass
met.
people as well, and they're grateful.
Yeah. A key to life is to harass the people doing the things you love so that you can do those things.
Yeah. And hopefully they love it. You know, it's the things they love as well. So it's like, it's all good.
Yeah. So there's a free life lesson. I mean, we're right off the bat.
Hey,
wisdom.
Skillshare.
Skillshare, yeah.
Okay.
So you visited here. There's some stories there. I'm trying to decide where to start. But let's start here. So you are releasing, and pre-sale is up right now. By the way, if you use the code Josh has a pedal problem, use spaces. Josh space has space a space pedal space problem, 10% off these books.
Yeah.
Any form of the 2 books or single books.
Yeah, anything in the stompboxbook.com shop.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they
It's-
want other stuff.
And yeah, they can have the Dust and Grooves book as well. And it's limited to the period of this live session.
So here's the
So
deal.
it's like an hour and a half. Go get
Yeah,
it.
if you-
10%. And that's
I'm
it.
going to tell you this from experience. If you don't use the code, tomorrow you're going to want this stuff because it's going to haunt you. You're going to regret the decision of not using this code for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Nick, thoughts on that?
Just do it!
Okay.
What?
That was
That's a good one.
All right. There's a quote in the Stompbox book.
and you say, I'm quoting you from your own book. This is meta. That's not what meta is, but I still haven't worked out what meta is. This is a quote from you. My older brother got the guitar. My middle brother got the drums. I was left with that legendary rock and roll instrument known as ... the recorder. So what's the backstory? You do Dust and Grooves, so
That's
this
it.
proves you're a music fan. No person in their right mind would care about, you love music. That's
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
Now you're proving that you're like in a psychotic crowd of people.
Yeah.
You're continuing a musical theme, but on the branches of kind of odd subjects. I mean,
True.
I am very aware of how odd guitar pedals are. A lot of my own family, it's hard to understand, what does this box do? How in the world did these two books come into play?
Well, I mean, it started with Dust and Grooves and my obsession with music. And as you said, or started with my quote, which kind of like sealed the deal on my musical career with the recorder. You know, I couldn't keep going with the recorder as a musician.
How far did you get with the recorder?
I stopped at the
Did you learn,
national anthem.
I was hoping you'd say like you learned Iron Man by Black Sabbath or something.
No, I tried and they expelled me. So yeah, it wasn't happening for me. And yeah, but so I grew up in Israel. I grew up in a small town in the desert. It's a really small town. So even for Israel, it was a secluded, town. But it was filled with, artistic vibes. Artists would come there to, live peaceful life, create, not be distracted by the city life. So, yeah, we didn't have much to do there. And then you had to find what to do by yourself. Be creative about it. Yeah.
What was popular music like? Because you're 25 years old, so this is
Exactly.
the
So
90s.
Britney Spears and Justin.
So what's
well,
it
basically everything that was happening.
Yeah.
Everything that was happening. I grew up in the kind of like late '80s, early '90s, and the usual stuff.
favorite bands growing up, like in that teen?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay.
Pearl Jam, all that. But also before that, like I remember my obsession with music. Kind of like started with my brother. He brought in records. My older brother, he brought records into the house. My parents had their, like the usual parent records. Like the Beatles.
Okay.
ABBA,
Well, there are other
ABBA.
usual parent records. Like for my parents, that's like Amy Grant and Marty Robbins.
Okay, all right.
So Beatles is pretty solid.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
solid. But also being closer to Europe in Israel, like with European influences, you would get stuff from Europe that would be probably less popular here. Like, I don't know, Jean-Michel Jarre, for example. With
No idea who that is.
kind of like, I don't know, an innovator of electronic music.
Okay.
French guy.
Cool.
You can tell by his name. All right, so back to me growing up in
So
the
you-
desert. Yeah.
In the desert, you love music.
I
It's
love music.
started-
The recorder was not kicking in, and my fingers also didn't really allow me to play the guitar.
Okay. Got a finger view there.
Got like
Solid view.
sausage-like fingers. So, but I was really into. I mean, music was always a major part of my life, and so I had a lot of like musician friends. And back then, in vinyl time and tapes and then CDs, we would be, and especially living in a small town, we would be doing, like record listening party, like hangouts, not parties, but just like, we would exchange records, go to a friend, listen to a record.
I'm jealous of that because I started collecting records about 5 years ago, seriously, because I started realizing the lack of attention I was giving albums by streaming them. I still stream music in my car, but
Totally.
when I got into music in the 90s, I bought CDs and I became a nerd. I think I became very nerdy. The roots of like people look at me and go, "This dude's a nerd out of his mind." Sure. But I would sit and memorize like the producers, engineers, drummers, and I would look at. I remember like opening Bush albums or Pearl Jam albums and Collective Soul, and I'd just like absorb it. And then society's like, just put it on your phone.
Yeah.
So, and the vinyl thing. So I'm saying I'm jealous. Like, I have this missing piece in my heart, which is like, as a teenager, I never sat down around a record player and like opened the cellophane off of a new record. That's cool.
You're still young. You're like 22, and you know it's.
I'm 21.
Got your whole life ahead of you. So
That's cool. I love that. That's a thing there, and it's tactile.
Yep.
And that's the Dust and Grooves.
Yeah. So that kind of like I don't know obsession with music that started in an early age developed, and I was always the music guy.
Yeah.
In my class, in school, I would do air drums, air guitar, air bass. People will ask me about all the music trivia. It was always me. So that was back then. And in the year of 2008, I moved to the States, to New York, and to pursue my career, and
So from rural Israel.
Not immediately from that little town on my camel.
I wasn't saying that. That's an incredible.
No, I
mean, because I'm from. We were joking earlier. A little bit of. I grew up incredibly rural, North Alabama. I've been to Israel before. Okay. I know how rural that can be, and I've also been to Manhattan. You live in Brooklyn.
I live in Brooklyn. Yeah, I could never live in Manhattan. By the way.
Yeah, me either. But yeah, that is just for me. It was a cultural shock visiting these larger cities early on, and
yeah.
So you moved there, and you're getting serious about.
Yeah, well, I was, from an early age, I would always go. I would always go to the big city, to Tel Aviv, and go there on expeditions to get records, bring them back.
It's so fun
to the desert, and but then I moved to Tel Aviv, and I traveled the world, and. I became a photographer, so part of it was also my job, or I made it my job to travel the world and bring stories to the world, like to publications.
Yeah. What was so we here, like, I remember Addison slipping, I'm talking about you, that.
Talk away.
But he's slipping through the PDF preview of this, and he's just like, guys, so talented. Like, your photography's so good.
So good, man.
And I had Dust and Grooves once we met. You brought a copy when we were here working through some pedals. Yeah, you have such a beautiful eye for like just capturing stuff in a way that is not anyone can take pictures. You are a very talented photographer. So like, what was your first array into this? Because these are photography books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think with Dust and Grooves is the main thing here is that I did it. I did it all for myself. That was not a job. I wasn't hired to do this. Dust and Grooves basically started as a personal project, just like me coming to America.
Yeah.
In 2008, it was the big recession back then. No jobs, and that's when I chose to arrive to New York. And I was like, all right, nothing's going on here, and probably not gonna go for a while. So I started documenting record collectors because I needed to do something.
Yeah.
And that thing kind of like, gained traction thanks to, I was blogging back then, and thanks to Facebook and social media that was kind of like starting out. And it just like, I don't know, became... I wasn't realizing that I was doing something important or something that is like really valuable, but I was just doing it for myself.
Just having fun.
Yeah, having fun. But then the feedback from the community, from the people who are seeing these photos was incredible. And it was like, oh, okay. I just realized all of a sudden that, this is like more important than what I thought, like my initial thought.
Yeah.
And that's how, I kept going, and the blog became a website, and then the website became a road trip and a Kickstarter campaign, and then the book, like that. So
this was
finished, released, made public in 2014.
Yep.
How many years did Dust and Grooves take?
Well, basically from 2008 when I arrived to the States until 2012, where I shot the last shot of in the book. So, what is it? 6 years? No.
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it hits home with me. Where like pedals, no one had a business plan here. It was just doing something I liked, and it's very similar. Yeah.
It's interesting when you do something that you really like and there's no. Yeah, I mean, things are changing, but like when you think of when it's pure, when there's like no monetary considerations, and that's how this started. Dust and Groove started, and then Dust and Grooves basically kind of like changed my career from being a photographer for hire for magazines and books and stuff like that to actually being some kind of like a mini publisher, like my own publishing company, where I choose the theme, I choose the topic, and then I pursue it start to finish.
So cool.
So Dust and Grooves it kind of like blew up. Like I didn't realize that it's gonna be such a success, and a lot of it was about the timing that it came out, because it was 2008. Well, let's see, 2014, around 2010, 12. The media was already kind of like trying to figure out how come vinyl is selling so much. What is it with the obsession with vinyl? Why it's just counterintuitive. Like why would people go and spend money?
Right. I think I had bought a couple vinyl. They were interesting because I'm obsessed with things. Like I have a collector tendency.
Yeah.
I won't call it hoarder.
Mm-hmm.
And that is true. There's like I think there's a thing happening in a demographic of people. Like I'll speak for my age, where like I told you, you just want to hold something, and there's an art form that's being missed in music, and it's the visual of music and the experience of music. So you dropped this book perfectly.
Yeah.
Ironically, right at the time.
Yeah. And up until now, it kind of like, I don't know, acts as the go-to to that whole culture of vinyl collecting and music, music nerds.
So how do you get from Dust and Grooves to this idea? Where is the origin thought of like a guitar pedal book? How in the world you don't play guitar? Do you own guitar pedals?
No.
Have you ever owned a guitar pedal?
No.
How? Like,
I always knew about their existence. I always knew what they do.
when's the first time this is fun for me. When's the first time you saw one? Talk about like.
No, I think
you just knew it was a thing.
Yeah, it was. I was always, I'm a geek myself, when it comes to music. So everything, just like you said, when you were going through, the album covers and going and looking at the personnel, the engineers, the producer, that's me.
You're seeing boxes at the feet of people in photos and studios.
Yeah, no, but I totally knew. I knew exactly what they do, and I also had I have musician friends. So if it wasn't me, but it was my friends around me that kind of like introduced me to to music making.
Yeah. So where's that
so how this a book about vinyl collectors and the community of vinyl collectors became a book about pedals. So I finished Dust and Grooves, did really well, took a break, crossed the US on a motorcycle, on a dirt bike, went to South America, did all kind of like things that midlife crisis kind of thing.
Required action.
Yeah, required action. Finished that, and I still had some money left from Dust and Grooves, and I said, all right, well, I mean, I need to get back to real life, and do another. Like I thought that I thought that after this book I'll be bombarded by job offers. It didn't happen, and I thought, okay, well, let's leave this. The job offer is to the side. I'll keep doing my own thing. And I started thinking, thinking about, okay, what's the next idea for a book that has kind of like the same ingredients as Dust and Grooves. So what were the ingredients? First of all is music, for sure. That's the first thing. Something that has to do with music. Second thing is a strong community around it.
Yeah.
And then something that hasn't been done before. Well, before that, something that is very visually attractive, that I can, express myself as a photographer. And then something that hasn't been done before. So
that's an insane list of. I mean, it narrows stuff down.
Yeah, it narrows stuff down. So it narrowed it into a photography book about pedals. Now, when I came to the idea of pedals,
what was that moment like?
But then I thought, okay, but this is going to be like a super small, limited niche. How do I expand that to the common people, or to the people who know guitar, like the guitars, but not necessarily are pedal geeks? So that's how I kind of completed the idea that Stompbox should be a book about the pedals that belong, used and owned by famous, or I guess greatest guitar players in the world.
It's
ambitious, I know.
It's great because you can connect people who may not be under the understanding of what a pedal is, but they understand they love an artist, and there's like this secret.
Yes.
There's like a secret language of art. There's these pedals at the feet of guitar players, and it's kind of revealing and showing something they may not know about their favorite artist.
Exactly. And the pedals and the pedal boards, like as you said, it's like they're not in the how'd you say, forefront?
Yeah.
They're like down there on the ground. Nobody sees them. It's not the guitar. They're not the hero. They're like the I don't know, the cavalry.
They're just silently awesome devices that change music.
Yeah,
and they're invisible.
My analogy here is pedals for musician is like spices for a chef.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy.
And chefs, they're always they go and they advertise knives, they advertise sexy pans and stuff like that, but they never advertise
a sexy pan.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have a sexy pan at home.
There it is.
Hey, I'm gonna interrupt you guys really quick. We have a couple comments that the coupon is expired, so maybe we can. I know, right?
Say what?
Maybe we can fix that up right at the end and leave that coupon up for like an hour after streaming.
Yeah, but you know what? In the first moment that I have a break here, when we get like into commercial.
Yeah, we'll do it. We're gonna jam.
I'll fix it up and done.
Yeah. So don't you guys worry. Your heads and hearts will get it fixed.
Thanks for letting me know.
Man, Nick, you're just calming everybody down.
Oh my God, he on X Games, man.
He's gonna fix it up. Let's pull out the first book, Stompbox. So Stompbox is 100 pedals of the world's greatest guitarists. This is the book that started this 2-book process. This is the origin book.
This is the origin book.
Let's do the table view here.
Okay. Taking it out of the brick. This is the brick here.
So the brick is both books together.
Yes, and it weighs like a brick. It looks like a brick.
But you can buy these books individually.
Yes.
And let's look at the Stompbox book here. Here's a screenshot real quick, just so you can see both books. 2 books. You can buy them separately or together. You don't want to buy these separately.
That was legitness. Yeah,
it was exactly. So let's start. Let's get some jams going.
Yeah.
I feel like I need a jam.
I need a jam.
My heart needs a jam. What?
We all need a jam.
I had you pick out 4 pedals.
Right. From most of them are from this book, but yeah.
Yeah. What's great is you know what guitars sound like. Like
Totally.
You're a very intelligent person
Thank
and you love music. But it's fun to think that you traveled around the world literally and you just took photos, and it was all about how they looked and a story, which is absolutely up my alley. I mean, we're in a room with between 3,000 and 4,000 pedals. We think we're working on that. And people sometimes think that like I'm worried about how they sound. I don't really like pedals for how they sound. I think there's a useful sound in every pedal, but I think we have a similar wavelength of the narrative, the story, the people, the creators, the artists. Like that's why I love pedals. It's like the fuel for me. So we share that. And so we're going to play some pedals here.
Yeah. Can I?
Yeah.
Just a quick side
you
note.
can do
and
anything you want.
And this is the reason, by the way, that we ask you to write that feature, one of the 5 features in this book.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Huge honor.
Yeah. And yeah, the feature about like the history of the design, the art and design of the Stompbox.
The original name, the working title here. Let's see how people feel about my working title for my article. So the article, let's see, have some. So it's Seeing Sound. Great name.
Yep. Great name.
The original name to this was A Brief Historical Examination of Stompbox Aesthetic.
Yes. And then Dan and I said, "Oh, that's really nice. It might be a little bit too geeky for us, and let's polish it up." And I think we did a good job here.
You did a
complimented
perfect job.
Yep.
Yeah. So, what pedal do we want to do here? We have 4 pedals pulled out.
Oh, so we're gonna do the jam here.
We're gonna let you be a record producer.
Right.
Pick one of 4 pedals and we're just gonna pull music out of our hearts.
All right. So, I think the first pedal that I would like to choose is one that Larry Lalonde from Primus chose for his profile, his interview.
Right.
So, by the way, the 100 pedals here in Stompbox.
Yeah.
These are 100 pedals from, these guitarists, like the 100 guitarists, and it's their pedals.
It's their. This was a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Because I was trying to help you with some artists, maybe 1 or 2 of those worked out, and the deal is you traveled to the people, or
all
at least
the way
the
to
guitar
Japan if needed,
Like,
and it wasn't.
They may have said Tube Screamer, which everybody had, but you're like, nope.
No, I
I
want
want that Tube
Yeah,
Screamer.
I want that
It's
one.
intense.
Yeah, and we managed to get quite a few. We actually also managed to get a Jimi Hendrix.
Yep.
Fuzz face.
Crazy story there.
Yeah.
Can we open it up to that page of that pedal?
Let's go to the Primus page.
Okay, so back to Larry Lalonde. Let's see, Larry Lalonde L. There we go. So the reason I chose it because also I love Primus and
You like this background music?
I love it.
Okay.
Where are we traveling in this elevator?
I see us all in a convertible.
Okay. Keep going.
It's a convertible, but it's we don't know where we're going.
So yeah, Larry he chose the DoD Gonkulator. Am I pronouncing it right?
Gonkulator.
Gonkulator.
Yeah.
And yep, here it is. But the reason I chose that one specifically and kind of like caught my attention is the amazing quote from him. I don't know. I find it really funny.
This quote is amazing.
Yeah, and I just love humor and you say meta humor.
Let's use the word meta again.
Okay, so here's a quote from there. I hit the switch on the Gonkulator and it made this great robot noise. I can't pronounce that word. The salesman said, "Yep, we haven't sold any of those," and that's how we chose it.
There's another pedal from the series. Fans of the show will have watched. It's called the Lamb series. There's a specific creator here. His name is Jason Lamb, and he was a skateboarder, punk rocker. He took over the idea for the company, and he did these crazy pedals. There's one called the Buzzbox, and it literally had a tag inside that they said it's not broken. These pedals. This line of pedals, which makes sense with Primus, they represent it's the 90s, and we need to destroy it was like the grunge element of doing it in electronics. It was like that rebellious thing. Really cool. So the Gonkulator. We want to keep this progression going, and
I think we need to change it up for the Gonkulator.
the Gonkulator.
We got to give
let's
the
do
Gonkulator
let's
a
do
little
table
bit more
table
to work
down
with.
here. Here's the clean tone.
I'm gonna go to E. Like we were riffing on something E earlier, but listen to this craziness. So I have a knob called suck, smear, gunk, and heave.
I want to test the gunk.
Gunk?
Yeah, give me more gunk. More gunk, please.
So gunk is a distortion circuit, I believe. I think it's a DoD grunge pedal for all you aficionados. Okay. Smear is the ring modulator of it, which is that. It's the alien noise. So you can center that. Suck. It's very Primus.
Okay.
Heave.
Josh, is this the
think that's
Incubus
volume.
pedal?
This was made famous by Incubus.
There we go.
Another 90s band. What do we want to jam on here? What do you feel like right now?
I feel like taking a ride in that convertible.
Can we take a ride through space?
Yeah.
Okay.
Space convertible. That's
This-
what this is going to be
This
called.
song is
It's
titled
gonna be
Space
called
Convertible.
Space Convertible.
I'm ready.
We're in E. Can you do a space convertible riff? No pressure. We don't rehearse, by the way.
Define space convertible riff.
Okay.
Do you need like a space convertible beat?
Let's start with a beat. What's the beat?
No, Addison's got it.
Oh, we had it.
No,
All
you
right.
have it. Go.
Okay. Is this a space convertible? Yeah.
They're going to a space punk show.
Space punk show.
Yeah. Now in the back of the space convertible, there are two gorgeous alien chicks, 8 hands and pink hair.
I keep wanting to play blues riffs on this, which is really awkward. So let's bring it down like a nightclub jam. I feel like Hendrix would have loved this pedal.
Oh yeah.
I've always thought that.
They will give you the Gonkulator face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something
Man,
like
the
that.
audience. Thank you,
The
audience.
Gonkulator
This is
face.
filmed before a not live studio audience.
That was legitness.
That was. Thank you for that. I always love her input. So Gonkulator, this is fun.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah, you might want to. There we go.
yeah the Gonkulator. It's fun to bring these sounds off the pages and talk about that.
Yeah.
What was this like? Photoing this pedal.
Pretty standard.
Yeah. Talk about the process.
I gotta say, photographing still life of objects is not like it was not my thing. I was never a still life photographer, and I kind of like learned a whole new discipline for this book. Like I studied.
Yeah. So you came here. I'll segue back to this.
Yep.
You came here. I have some photos
Mhm.
where you visited Kansas City once. We can talk about this later. You had to come back. It's a
Yes.
funny story.
Twice. Is this your third or fourth time? Third time here?
Third time.
We are friends.
Yeah.
So here's a photo of the process for the other book. I
Yeah.
don't
Here,
wanna-
here we'll like. This is where we actually start shooting for vintage and rarities.
Yeah, you're basically like
And
pull
we can-
everything out that's
Yeah.
really odd.
Really
rare.
odd. Really something that never been seen before. Collectible.
Yeah.
And expensive. And this is how we like.
And I remember we did these bins. Sometimes it had nothing to do with monetary value. It would just be
Completely,
like
right.
so you would look at certain things like that pedal's in a tuna can. Yes.
Yes.
You know.
Although we didn't choose one of the tuna
yeah.
cans.
You probably there's so many photos
So
no
many,
one will
so
ever
many.
see.
Maybe volume 2 of vintage and rarities.
I
Hey,
like that.
Hey.
So here's this is you
Oh man, this is
photographing some of the rats.
These are
from this
great.
one. Yeah. That made it into a book. One version of this
yes.
photo.
Yep.
That's a typical I don't think that made the book, but I think that's your setup. So you're
Yeah, we can talk about the setup though,
Yeah.
because this is actually pretty interesting. So, I had to choose or kind of like come up with a very efficient setup.
okay.
Because I was traveling all around the world. I was doing it all by myself. There were no sponsors. No one was paying me to do this. So everything came from my funds. I was funding the whole thing, and then I was I did like three trips to the West Coast. I did a round the world trip to get all these like collectors and pedals for vintage rarities. So
Yeah.
I had to be able to come up with a very efficient way to shoot these pedals everywhere, anywhere. And I have photos shooting under, like in the rain, in upstate New York, shooting Nels Klein.
I have
16,
that.
yeah, 16-second delay.
Right here.
This is it. Yeah,
I love,
and there's
I just
one.
have that handy, by the way.
What's that?
I just had it here. Ready.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing. You're amazing, man.
You're amazing.
No, you're amazing. And if you switch to the other photo, you can see like it's raining in the back, for example. And and so back to the setup, this like mobile setup. I had to create this really efficient way to unpack it and install it really quick.
I remember you walking in here, and I was expecting to go help you with something, but you had a piece of folded cardboard. No joke. It was looked like the cardboard from a box fan or something.
Yep.
And you had like your stool, a
My
backpack,
stool.
and
I
it was
travel with my
that was it?
always travel with my stool.
It was amazing. You
Yeah.
had a little light bag or something.
Yeah. And everything kind of like folds into 2 bags.
Mhm.
And when I travel overseas, everything actually folds into 1 bag that I check in. And it was important for for this project to actually happen. So the setup is 2 umbrellas, 2 lights, a tripod with a geared head, which is really important actually to kind of like fine tune the angles, and a computer and a good macro lens and a good Sony camera.
I bought a macro lens because of you.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you.
Yep.
We got the 50 millimeter, right, Addison?
Okay.
That we did.
Yeah.
What lens are you using, Eilon?
I was using a 90.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Could have been done with a 50 as well, I think. But a macro lens was also important. And one thing about the method of actually shooting. So I wanted to get all the details out, all the wear, all the scratches, the rust, the sweat.
You can look at photos here, and it's you actually.
Oh yeah.
You somehow, your editing style's really unique and amazing as well. Like there's several pedals from my collection in these books. One is an original blackout love tone Big Cheese. When I hold it, lighting in a room is different than lighting in a photo set.
I know it's old. In your photos, it like shows this wear that's not so obvious, but it's beautiful. Like the way you did that, you brought out extreme detail.
Yeah, that was a special case because it was
Yeah.
a black surface that absorbs all the light,
Yeah.
and then you still want to get all the details out and all the scratches. That was a really challenging one. But for example, this photo of Kirkwood, Morley
Yes.
echo chorus vibrato. So this thing, for example, was, I mean, it's really impossible to see it in this kind of view, but like when you see it in the book, everything, like all the rust, it's like layers of rust and gunk.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I wanted to show in this book.
It's
you
the
know, like
life of these pedals.
the
They're not
life, the
perfect.
history, some pedals do show it more than others. Let's see.
That's such a great photo.
Scott Halliday's Zap, which is basically it's an Octavia
Mm-hmm.
built into this casing and custom painted, I guess. Yep. So anyways, oh wait, can we stop on this?
Let's stop here.
Let's stop here.
This is
This is Jimi
Amazing.
Hendrix Fuzz Face.
yeah,
And
an Arbiter England. So
when we laid
Incredibly
our
early.
hands on this one, that was like a milestone for
where
us.
was it located? In a secret dungeon.
Yeah, it's in a secret
Mhm.
privately owned museum for electronic
Yeah.
instruments.
I know where it's at.
Yeah,
We can
yeah.
just, you know.
I think actually you tipped us
I
with
think I
that
did.
info. You
I
did.
think I'm not going to take credit for that, but yes.
You can take the credit. Cha-ching.
Bum,
Yeah. No. So thank you. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's fine.
yeah, you put us in touch. The place is called. It has an impossible name.
It's an acronym
It's
of all.
No, it's really, I don't know. EMAP. It's
EMAP.
E
It's EMAP. It's in Pennsylvania.
MAP.
It's impossible to understand an acronym. That's not a word, but yes.
The I don't know, initials. No.
Yeah, private museum.
It's a private
For
museum
educational purposes.
for it's basically kind of like maybe it's like your room here, but extended into
Yeah.
every electronic
I haven't
instrument.
been super jealous of you.
It's
but
crazy.
They have the thing they do is they branch into tons of synthesizers and things.
Yep.
We're gonna go, Nick, Addison, and I. We're gonna go up and film an episode there, and I'm gonna hopefully get my hands on and dissect a couple rare pedals and draw schematics and basically live the dream.
Mhm.
They have some incredible stuff.
What are you gonna do with those schematics, Josh?
I don't know.
Are you gonna
What do you do with schematics?
make some pedals out of
I
them?
might. No, I just want to. The history there, they literally have like holy grail historical objects.
Totally.
So it's pretty incredible.
Totally. And make sure that you get the backstory of
Yeah.
how they started up.
I wanna know it all. But you got to go. We're gonna jam on a pedal from there a little bit later.
Okay.
Let me finish showing these photos, because there's. Yeah. So, I think we did show them all. Yeah. You literally would shoot. I mean, it was intense. When you were here, you did a lot of pedals. Had to come
Yeah, I
back.
think I shot. Let me think. I think over 100 for sure. No,
Yeah.
I had actually 160 perhaps. I think I
From
did
this
80,
room.
80 per day, and it's not just like a point and shoot. It was like
You were.
I was fried by the end of each day.
Yeah.
Completely.
Here's a picture of you with every known version of the Klon. It's pretty saucy.
That photo is in the book,
Yeah.
by the way.
It's a great photo.
Yeah.
And then we listened to lots of records,
Yes.
which is very appropriate. So here's the question I have. Keep going. I mean, you went to a lot of collectors' places. Where does
pedal
this?
collectors.
Yeah, where
Yes.
you went all over the world. Like, how does this stack up here? How crazy are we? Just for the sake
I think I said it before that vintage and rarities could have been just about this room, about your collection.
it's wild because I feel in a sense like woke up one day and this all happened. It's not how it happened, but it's hard to describe through the show. We've actually had a lot of comments about this wall. People think it's green screened or something. They don't really.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. Am I? Yeah.
You're
It
right.
still happens a little bit. But the whole room's that way. The drawers are full. We're out of space. But yeah, it's one of those things where like you start immersing into story and narrative and trying to collect things and understand the circuits and all of a sudden you're just like, dear Lord. So
Yeah.
so you went and experienced this all over the world.
Yeah. So I think maybe
Incredible.
we need to give some kind of like a backstory.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
here's the thing.
That's where I was headed.
I think maybe,
'Kay.
we were doing the what was his name? Oh, the John Abercrombie
Mhm.
track that I really liked because you asked
Yeah.
me. You asked me, all right, what kind of pedals
Absolutely.
would you like to listen to? So I came up with this track that I really love.
Yeah.
And there's this bass line over there. That I don't know if it's a guitar, if it's a guitar or if it's like a bass.
It's either a
synth.
bass or a Moog bass. But
Okay.
either way, Addison.
But it
whipped
has
up
the
a little-
sickest bass sound.
Yeah.
And I love it. I mean, it gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it. So you said that you might be able to replicate it here, or maybe at least jam to it.
Let's jam with it. I will. This is a pedal you wanted to. We'll plug into this.
All right.
Top down. This is in the book. This is the first Klon Centaur ever manufactured and made. So we'll plug into this. It's in the book. Addison, you wanna? How about you play a little bit of the tune quickly over your microphone for us?
Oh yeah, remember minute 7.
Oh, you want me to play it over?
Yeah, just a
Oh,
second
yeah,
of it. Yeah.
Like of the actual song.
That's the beauty of the live. It's a living room.
Yeah. And while you do that, I'm gonna fix the code.
That
Right?
sounds great.
Okay.
We'll jam on this. Remember, he's fixing the code,
I'm fixing the code.
but the code is gonna be Josh has a pedal problem. 10% off everything at Stompbox website.
Yeah. Stompbox
Yeah.
book.com.
All right. Got it pulled up? It's a super cool jam. It's at 7 minutes, I think.
Just some great bass frequencies coming off your laptop there.
All right.
Hey, I'm about to play it.
Start the riff. It's awesome. We're using to replicate that the Keeley synth pedal, and it sounds pretty darn close. And this is John McLaughlin.
That's John Abercrombie.
Abercrombie, yeah.
And the title of the song is Lung.
never happens. Yeah, that's cool. I need to get a synth now.
Oh my god, he on X Games mode.
That's
Thanks,
great.
Nick.
And just to get it right, it's lungs actually, not lung. Lungs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, thanks for that. Hey, by the way, you want to see this is Joe Perry's Klon
That's super cool.
Centaur.
Joe Perry's Klon.
And he tells all the story about it and why he likes it here.
How much did you see the Klon show up in people wanting to show their Klon?
Just once. This one.
Just once.
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah. And also, I mean, we also try to not have any
Duplication.
Yeah. So
We
we
worked
did
on
have eventually a couple, but we managed to get like different variations.
I know in the process of doing the vintage rarities,
Mm-hmm.
there was this process I was involved in with basically like Dan made spreadsheets. We'll actually introduce Dan and another person in a
Yep.
second. Your
Yeah,
eyes
yeah.
are like, yes.
Yeah.
But it was really intense to go through this crazy list that because I remember I went on and said what I had and all these other people did, and you guys had to start.
Yeah.
You would be on location somewhere, and I'd get a text from Dan in my
the
memory.
middle of the
it'd be
night.
like,
Yeah.
what about this? And I was trying to help advise what I knew. Some
Yeah.
things I didn't have an answer for. There's some crazy pedals I've never.
And that's
even
when
seen.
we knew. We got it.
And it is wild, that process. Dan was rating them, 1 to 10, I believe, or 1 to 7, something, and it was like you had to literally go through every pedal. Rate, is rare really rare?
Yep.
There became this discussion of what makes the book, and we worked on that spreadsheet.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot.
We made a few passes over it, and then a few more, and then a few more, and then narrowed it down to 333, which was hard. It was a hard.
Yeah, because you're saying
Process.
you shot 150 plus here.
Yeah, no, we had.
And
I
you went
think
all
we
over the
ended up
world.
with 600 or something. Rare
It's
pedals,
a lot of pedals.
photographed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, so it's good that you mentioned Dan and
Exactly.
and James. So let's kind of like roll back a little
Let's
bit
roll back.
to to Stompbox and how it started. So basically, yeah, I don't know much about pedals, right? I'm not
Now you do.
now I do a little bit, but back then I didn't know anything. So I needed the best people in the industry to make this thing happen. So beside getting your help as an advisor, as a technical advisor, I guess the main people who made this book possible and made it happen are the two editors, Dan Epstein and James Rotondi, who goes by Roto, by the way.
Yeah.
They're the two editors of the book. Roto was the first editor. He did it for a while, and then as the book kept going, the work kept going and going and going. We brought in Dan to take over, and then James became kind of like the editor at large
Yeah.
of the book, kind of like supervising and giving his advice. But they did all the editorial stuff. We assigned eventually over 20 different writers from
It's
all
so
over the
much-
globe.
It's so much work,
To-
administration, and
Yeah, and to get these interviews,
mm,
because imagine like 100 artists, some of them really big names. So we had to go through personal connections, publicists, editors, management, friends of friends, family. I know his aunt,
yeah.
stuff like that, and eventually, yeah, and their work, on this book is just, if it was me, it wouldn't have. I mean, I might have had a few nice photos of pedals,
Yeah.
but
Dan, I worked directly with Dan, and it was awesome. He knows his stuff.
he knows his stuff, and he's a great writer, and I think if you ask I think you should ask them. Like I think it's part of the like the interesting process here is like their experiences with like interviewing their idols. Some of them were, some of the artists that were interviewed like were Dan's and Roto's, like, idols.
You're interviewing your idol. So we have a couple videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to let them. They couldn't be here because
Right.
2020 is weird.
Yep.
So here's Dan. You want to introduce Dan? You want to give him like the
Yeah.
WWF?
Guys, on the left corner, Dan motherfucking Epstein. Can we say that? All right, because that's his name. That's his formal name in the book, in the intro. And Dan, let's see what's his favorite interview.
Hey, this is Dan Epstein. I'm the co-editor of Stompbox and editor and co-author of Vintage and Rarities. Just calling in to say hey. Josh asked me to talk about two of my favorite pedals from these books. From the Vintage and Rarities book, can't beat the Gary Hurst wooden tone bender prototype that we've managed to photograph for it. That's just an insanely cool pedal for obvious reasons. From the Stompbox book, hard to say what my favorite pedal is in there, but my favorite interview was definitely talking to Alex Lifeson of Rush, who's been a hero of mine for 40 years. And to get him to talk about his original Boss CE1 chorus, which he still has, the one that he used on so many great Rush records, that was just out of sight. So, that's what I got for you. Thank you so much to the JHS folks for supporting this project, and to Josh for all the help he gave us along the way. And his article in Stompbox is well worth reading, as I'm sure you would imagine. And rock on.
Thanks, Dan. You're not here, but I would hug you. It's good working with you.
This is Dan. I think it was like midnight after writing the whole
Absolutely.
day, and he's on deadline for his own book.
That's how you type live your lives, right on the edge of the blade.
Exactly.
I mean, you get cut at any moment.
Yep.
You just got to keep moving. Roto. Is it? So there's two options here. He's a musician.
Yep.
Is the nickname for a roto tom drum or a rotary sound?
Or it could be also plumbing.
Roto Rooter?
Yep.
Because you don't want to be called Rooter.
No.
Hey, man, go get Rooter. You want to be, hey, man, go get Roto. We're going to move on from that. And here's Roto.
Hey, y'all. This is Roto, James Rotundi. Shouting out to you from down here in Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. I am one of the two editors of the Stompbox book, the massive tome that is about to hit the world in moments, mere moments, I tell you. And it's been my exquisite pleasure to work on that with my co-editor, Dan Epstein, and our major domo, the big commander, Eilon Paz, the man behind those mouth-watering photographs of the actual pedals played by everyone from Hendrix and Mark Bolan to Steve Albini and Kaki King, and it's pretty crazy and over the top. I have a past with being an editor, guitar player, Guitar World. I've written cover stories for acoustic guitar. I've written for Jazz Times, and I've also been on the road with Humble Pie and The Cringe and The Grassy Knoll and 100 Hounds and a bunch of other bands. And so playing and writing and having musical adventures, it's what it's all about for me. And I know it's all about what the cats at JHS are trying to put into all their pedals, to make sure that those pedals are not just boxes of transistors and diodes, but they are actually little adventures waiting to be had. And I believe JHS has done an awesome job of that. And it's great to be able to hang here with Josh and Addison and the whole gang. In terms of adventures, the book had plenty, and for me, look, there was there were those, your inner teenagers literally screaming when you're on the phone with Peter Frampton, or Nuno Betancourt, and so I got to interview guys like that. Scott Holliday, Kim Thale of Soundgarden is always such a great, intelligent, and deep interview. But I got to say, one of my favorite adventures was when Eilon actually flew down to Nashville so he could shoot one of Jack White's pedals. And now we all know Jack's a big pedal guy, right? But he'd had this pedal he kind of developed with a company called Union Tube and Transistor from Portland. But he put it through the Third Man Creative Mill and came out with the Bumblebuzz, a very cool yellow pedal. And so we went to actually hang with Jack, and I got to sit with Jack, plug one of his 63 Gretsch through a nice, beautiful old amp and have the Bumblebuzz in line. And I'll tell you, man, the one thing that really popped out to me, I played it a little bit, and then Jack played it. And one thing that really struck me was that Jack's he's just got strong hands. And I thought maybe we should just hear the Bumblebuzz. Is that okay? Let's just hear the thing a little bit because, and this is, it only does one setting. There's no knobs on it. It just goes. Anyway, that's what it does, and especially in Jack's hands, man, it kind of blows you out of the room, and so that was quite the awesome adventure. Many more adventures to come with the Stompbox book. Congratulations, Eilon, and thank you so much, JHS, for having us come and hang out with you guys a little bit. We're super appreciative, and we look forward to hearing from you all what you think about the book, and having more rocking adventures in the pedal landscape with everybody. Again, it's Roto, and be well, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll catch you soon. All right?
He's awesome. He got the demo in. The guy's like, I'm on demo. That sounded great. I don't
vertically.
I just want to mention when it comes to the Bumblebuzz. Bumblebuzz. I don't have that pedal.
I don't have this pedal, am I gonna survive? I just have to have that pedal.
Roto, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to use that stinger. It was burning a hole in my finger. Does that work? Hole in my pocket, hole in my finger? I don't know. So let's pick it back up. Let's talk about the 100 pedals. There are 5 featured articles, 5, you could call them chapters that were sourced out. Different people wrote one.
Yep.
I got to write one of those. And so the first, Fuzzed, Phased, and Freaked Out, A History of the Guitar Pedal.
Yep.
Thinking Inside the Box,
maybe
a pedal.
Maybe you can show
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do top down, and we'll show each one.
Maybe just to make make it clear. So we start with 100 pedals, which are the 100 pedals of, all these amazing guitarists, right?
The choice of the choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we finish that, and each interview has at least a double spread. Some of them has more. And when we're done with that, there's a little Easter egg, and I'm not going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to find it out.
You can find out by using the discount code. Josh has a pedal problem.
Which actually is working now, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. All right. They just called from my bank. They said, all right, bring us another bucket. All right. So when this is done, after we're done with the 100 pedals, we get to the features. And it's basically almost like half of the book. Here.
Yeah.
Look at this. And there's like 5 in-depth features about other stuff about pedals. So, of course, we have to start with the history of the guitar pedal.
And that's Fuzzed, Phased, and Freaked Out.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read that. I have not read it.
Excellent title by Roto. That's why you have the best editors in town.
It's great.
To give you these titles.
Yeah.
A heavy history of the guitar pedal. And it's written by Dave Hunter. And it's basically, just goes from the first instances of guitar amplification, which, believe it or not, is not really a pedal, but...
Right. 1930s were great.
Resonator. Going up to the amps, and we're not gonna give the whole thing. This is one of yours.
Yeah, because they need to use the discount code for that, which is Josh has a pedal problem spaces included.
Yeah. By the way, this we shot here. This feature, most of it. And
That's
this
right.
one actually, this is Hendrix fuzz face from the inside, which I don't usually do, but you requested me. You asked me for a photo of the inside of the guts,
You
and I
said
shot
you
it
were
for
there.
you. I shot it for you.
So
It
you're
was,
saying that picture's for me?
that was for you. I said, I said, all right, well, you know what? This guy is asking me for that photo. I'm gonna do it.
I feel so loved,
Yeah.
cared for.
So dedicated to Josh.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
That shoot was my, I want to say, first or second day at JHS.
It was your first day.
I think it was my first day.
That's
you
wild.
did, you did good for a first day.
Well,
I gotta
thank
say.
you.
It consisted of
You fooled
it,
me.
It
Oh,
consisted of me
shucks.
pacing around the room, like doing other work, and being like, "Addison, find that bin.
It was a messy room.
Addison, is there a screwdriver?"
We've come a long way.
Yeah.
So then the next is
Yeah, the next-
thinking inside the box.
Yes.
A pedal Innovators Roundtable. This is really cool with a ton of friends in it.
Yes. So this is basically kind of bringing the community together. Everybody around the virtual table, talking about their craft, their passion.
Yeah.
Revealing some secrets. I want to say here
Lots
and there.
of secrets, probably.
Yeah. I think everybody. I mean, we wanted to include everybody, but I mean,
It's impossible.
it's impossible. So
The people you chose are phenomenal. I like the space of you ask a question and there's the different responses from the different camps of pedals. And I think something that this book highlights from a community perspective is everyone builds pedals differently. Everyone wants them to look differently. Everyone wants a certain sound. Everyone lives in a different part of the world. And when you ask a single question, there is no right answer. And this is like one of my soapboxes. Like, there is no best sounding pedal or best looking pedal or best way to make a drive pedal. And this article, when I glazed over it and read some of it last night, it's like the perfect example of these brilliant creators, and everyone has a right answer. So thank you.
Oh,
it's my
well,
soapbox.
We'll have to thank Tzvi Glucking. He's a writer for this.
Yeah.
Of this. And
It's awesome.
Yeah, and of course the editors. This is definitely a good work from the editors here that make this thing happen.
We had a discussion. We were kind of freaking out, Katie as well. The fonts, your font choices.
Oh.
They're
Okay.
Purifier. Do you have a Purifier soundbite? What's close? Yeah, that's the fonts.
All right.
Oh my God, he on X Games.
So I guess we need to give props to the graphic designer who designed the box.
It's so good.
These two books came out with this really cool feature.
Yeah.
The cutout in the brick, and I don't know if you can see the
Inside.
details here. The inside of the brick as well. So yeah,
Famous.
there's like a lot of attention to details, even to the seams. Actually, I don't know how you call this, but
The spline.
you see their color.
They're saying it's not called a spline.
Maybe the
Spine?
spine.
It is. Well, this
think
is the spine, but this is So
Kelsey,
even
is it
even to
spine or spline?
I think spline is a different
She's
thing.
ignoring
Can
me.
someone
spine
look
is
it
in your
up?
body.
I have a spine, but does my book have a spine?
No, but you have a spline as well. Isn't it the stuff that you get rid of? if
That's
you
a
get-
spleen.
Oh, spleen. Right. Sorry.
You guys are going all over the place.
Still, nobody answered. Is it a book
I'm looking.
spine or
Googling-
spline?
It's a spine. It's a book spine.
So what's a spline, by the way?
A
let's
spline?
Google
I think
it.
it's a 90s band that opened for Creed.
That's
Oh. All right.
All right, moving on.
Back to thinking inside the box. So so we were talking about the attention to details and stuff like that, and my extended vocabulary in English. Yeah. And all right, so that was thinking inside the box, and I want to believe that we got some kind of like a unique
There's Ant.
perspective and inside look to some of these great builders.
You did.
One of my favorite shots. I mean, one of my favorite shots is here, Mike Matthews.
I have a little story about this shot.
Yeah. please.
You
Mike
should we?
Matthews as the king of.
I think
he's the
Mike
king.
is.
Or was a czar. or
If
something.
anyone on this earth living is the king of pedals, it's Mike Matthews. That's my.
Yeah.
It is Nick. How you feel about that?
Oh, absolutely.
You know Mike. We met Mike.
Mike is a commanding presence for sure. Kingly like commanding presence.
Yeah. Addison, what's your vote for king of pedals?
The pictures I've seen of Mike, I would absolutely say it's him.
Yeah.
Who else smokes a cigar, takes pictures, and has his like Captain Morgan stance on top of pallets of
has
pedals?
a parrot in his workshop at all
Hey.
times. He might be
Whoa.
the ultimate like king pirate of pedals.
He's incredible.
100%.
So this photo.
Yep.
Here's the back. You want some backstory? Or do you know it?
No, I wanna.
Should we go here? Little
Yeah.
little snippet. This
Yeah.
photo is important for a few reasons. As far as I know, people don't go posting every photograph. I think you and I are I would say we're the only two people who have ever photographed this photo, this portrait. I'm going to go out on a limb. So I've been there a couple times. Last time we went and interviewed Mike for some work. And I heard the story the first time, but it sits in his office. His office is private. When he took over the factories in Soviet Union, Russia, and started making tubes, he did a lot for the economy there, gave people jobs, and he became like a hero. I mean, they brought this tube thing, biggest tube manufacturing in the world, and one day they open a pallet. So if you're looking top down here, they open a pallet. Let's see if we lift this up. And on top of the pallet of tubes, there's this oil painting of Mike Matthews crowned in a robe. Hold on.
So he's quite literally the king, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and he's very content, by the way. He's not as grumpy as grumpy looking at. Yeah, he was very proud of that photo.
And he should be.
He should be.
of
So
course.
further detail of this photo, an analysis needs to be made of a very important thing here. If we look down at the table again, Eilon, if you do the honors, there is an amp that has an orange faceplate at the bottom of the picture. It says Sovtech right there. That's my amp. Now behind me, if we would like to do the camera, there used to be the orange Sovtechs here. There's one down here. I have 3 of these. He wanted to reissue it, or still is. Didn't have one. I sent it to him. Back to tabletop. There's the letter from me stuck in the handle and the tag we used to organize here. I'm just saying, you gave physical photo proof that he has the amp if I never get it back. That's basically important and exciting, and I love Mike.
Yep.
So that, I think you're one of the only people you're the only person to publicly show the oil painting, I think.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
I feel, yeah, it is a big deal. Another photo that I really like. Well, talking about the my visit to EHX headquarters. So another photo that I really like, and I kind of like. I was like out of space for the book, but I said, okay, I cannot omit this photo. And basically, they have a basketball. What do you call it? Like a board,
like a
hoop.
hoop.
Yeah, they have
basketball
a
goal / hoop.
Yeah, in the warehouse. And that's
awesome.
That's important.
Fun fact.
It's a fun
we
fact.
also used to have a half-court basketball setup in our old shop.
I see. I think in the meta
Third time.
level,
Mm-hmm.
this is how you evaluate a good company. Like if you want to work there, if they have a basketball hoop, as well as something that I noticed here,
All right.
is the first time I went to the bathroom here, you guys have the porta potty. Porta potty?
Porta potty?
Porta potty?
The squatty potty?
The squatty potty,
Yeah.
sorry. Squatty potty again. The squatty potty, man. And when I
very
realized, yeah, you guys go to the porta. Now I get it.
No. I think the signs of a good business are toilet accessories,
Yes.
possible birds in the factory warehouse,
Shop pets.
we have Hank a dog.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
on the
yeah.
website. Check him out.
There's also basketball courts. We had one. We don't have it anymore. Oil paintings of certain people. We don't have that.
We have oil paintings of pedals.
Yeah.
So that's close.
I think that you stumbled into a deeper understanding of what it takes to run a pedal company.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
I was really impressed.
I love it.
Yeah.
They have a great place there.
Yeah.
He's the king of Queens.
That's right.
Yeah, he is.
Although they weren't always in Queens,
No,
right?
They were in
Midtown.
Midtown.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Until he got in a fight with the mafia and moved. True story. Moving on.
Another great person here, Mike Piera, Analog Mike.
That's why he's the king. Everyone thinks I'm joking, but he literally fought the mafia.
Did he? All right.
Yes.
Is there a story right there?
There's we don't have time. We'll do another live about Mike and how amazing he is.
All right. Next feature: fuzzy drums, hairy horns, and silky keys.
This will be Nick's favorite feature. It's all about why it's okay to love guitar pedals for everything but guitar.
Yep.
Amen.
And it features quite a few interviews with different musicians.
Matt Chamberlain.
Yep. Drummer.
I read that
on
section.
the drums.
Matt's amazing. We shot a video like 5 years ago. It has 3 views. It's how he uses effects, so it's on there. Go
Lisa
watch it.
Molinaro from Modest Mouse plays the viola, I think. Viola?
Yeah, viola. Viola, depending
Viola.
on.
Okay, depends where you.
Viola is like a Southern woman's name.
My name is Viola. My daddy was a banker.
Another interview with Skerrick, a saxophone player from Seattle. And maybe one of my favorites here, Money Mark, keyboard and producer, worked with the Beastie Boys. Kind of like shifted their sound, basically, and their depth, I guess, into
really,
instrumentals.
That'll be fun to read.
This guy. And there is a cool story behind it. Actually, I gave you some behind the scenes, but yeah, so Money Mark, I went to LA and I scheduled a shoot with him, and I explained to him that we need to take a photo of him and some of his pedals that he mentioned in the book. And I came in with this, with the usual, all right, well, let's do it in your studio. And he said, no, we're not doing that. And I said, all right, well, cool. I mean, I am a fan, so
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, let's say, well, let's do something outside. I'll bring some pedals, and I'll bring them outside. Let's do something kooky. And he sent me some examples of like a shot that he did, dragging an electric piano into the LA River. And that was a cool shot. That was kind of like the inspiration for this shot.
There's
And I was like,
probably pianos in the river,
right.
if you just looked for
Yeah.
them.
So, I said, all right, I rolled with it, and we met up in this fountain. I don't remember the name of it, but and the guy just jumped into the water, and with his socks, and started like,
It's amazing.
Yeah, and we do we have these photos that I
Yeah, we do.
It's kind of like the process. So this is the photo.
Yeah.
Almost the
I'll
photo.
scan through here.
Yeah, but that's
He's getting it. He's in the water.
Yeah, that's
He has a Wim tape echo, which I don't have. I'm okay.
a Leslie machine.
I'm glad he's not plugged in, because there is a certain danger involved in electronics and
Yeah.
pools of
And
water.
then the beautiful thing here is that the sign says no swimming or playing.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I don't know. It just happened. I was just writing it.
It didn't just happen.
Yeah. So it was a cosmic thing. Anyways, so yeah, that's another really interesting interview in that feature.
And then the next feature we have Seeing Sound,
Yes.
which used to have a much longer
Yeah.
title.
So and then we finish up with Justin Meldal Johnson. I hope.
Justin is an incredible producer. I first knew of him from playing bass for Beck, but he's produced everybody and their grandma at this point.
And then we're coming to this.
Yeah.
Seeing Sound,
Seeing
the art
Sound.
and design of the Stompbox by
me. I had a hard time knowing if I was supposed to say Joshua or Josh, so I trimmed it down.
Josh is fine.
Tried to do some self-editing.
So yeah, so we shot most of it here, although I do have some shots, kind of like from the Electro Harmonix, for example, headquarters.
I'm excited for people to see this because we'll go back to some photos, but it spawned into a Patreon talk that our Patreon members have seen, an episode, and now I have developed a public talk, which I'll probably do out of this. This was an idea, and it kind of got done and then was preceded by these other ways of telling this story. But this is like kind of the perfect summation of telling this story of pedals start in 62 and the aesthetics change with the years and the culture and the significance of art on a pedal instead of how it sounds. What does it look like, and what is the story of the art?
Yeah.
And so we went through this process. Angela was a huge help. You connected me with Angela.
Angela Reichert.
Yeah. And I was able to discuss with her these things I've noticed for years in these cobwebs of story and similarities in fonts and graphics and styles. And we walked through it and wrote this article, which basically, you'll see different things. Hamamatsu 77. And this tells the story of, well, how'd this happen? Why do these look this way? There's the evolution of the Tube Screamer. Minneapolis 94. What was Zach Vex doing? Was he out of his mind? Like the illustrative aspect of pedals. California 97. Yeah, we just go through and deep dive big time into
the aesthetics and the product design.
Yeah, just Nick and I met with this designer in London. I thought he was dead. True story. As we're finishing this, I was having a discussion with. It's sad that we can't meet with Alan. He's dead. We walk in and our buddy there, Color Sound, Ant. He goes, "He's not dead." And he picks up the phone and he calls him and he's like, "Here," and I'm on the phone with a dead man. And he just shows up. He's like, "I'll jump on the train," and we sat down and interviewed him, and I finished the article.
Isn't Ant like the best?
He's a character.
Person.
He's a character.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. I have to thank him a lot as well. As much as I.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's a connector of people for sure and things. So then we have the Big Muff J Maskus.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, here's some of these photos here.
So the last feature in the book is called Jay's Big Muff Museum.
Yep.
Lee Ronaldo talks pedals with J Maskus. So our connection with Lee basically was the first artist that agreed to participate, even before the book was actually a book. It was more like a concept. And he was the first one that gave oh wait, a rare photo of Jay smiling.
He is smiling.
Yeah, this is a rare photo.
Nick, could you tell the story of when we met him?
We ran into J Maskus
in Chicago,
CME.
Yeah,
we were probably filming like a demo with them, and we were just like walking around, and Josh is like, "Hey, that's J Maskus," and like we walked up to him. And he's like super nice, really quiet, but like we walked up to him and Josh was like, "Hey man, like I think we sent him a muffaletta or something."
He had bought a muffaletta, and the first thing I said, I didn't know if he knew who I was. I was like,
right.
"How did you use a muffaletta? I'm JJ Pedals."
And he was just like, "Yeah, man, that's cool."
And we just stood there, like I didn't know what to say.
He was talking so quietly. He has like such a chill, quiet presence.
He is.
So in this photo, he's smiling.
He is smiling.
This is rare.
Yeah, so we went to his studio in what was it? Amherst, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
and and that's where he stores. He has that Big Muff Museum where he collects,
he has some really rare
variations, over variations of Big Muff and duplicates and and I just say like
clones, replicas.
Yeah.
Anything that's ever been associated.
And people end up sending him stuff as well. And the whole story about that is in the story where Lee talks to him, and it was pretty amazing also to see their like the real friendship that they have, and how they kind of like that they exchanging memories from the past, and how almost like words of admiration to each other, which was really nice for me to kind of like watch from the side. It turned out to be a really cool interview here.
So let's jump over.
Should we jam?
Let's jam. We're good on time.
I'm getting a little itchy for a jam.
Nick needs to jam. He has a steady diet of jamming.
Yeah.
So let's go to Vintage Rarities.
Yep.
And one of the pedals that you were able to photograph, it is the rarest pedal on Earth.
Yeah, that's the one that you didn't believe that we really had.
This is the one that I had heard rumors of. It was at the museum, and I knew that a guy in Australia claimed to have one, but I didn't believe him. And then I dealt with Anthony. Nick and I interviewed Makari several years ago for work nobody's seen yet.
Makari from Solar Sound. Yep.
And he wasn't sure where one was. And so basically Gary Hurst invents the tone bender in 1965 by modifying a Maserati. Maestro fuzz tone. Come on, Josh.
Jeez. How could you get that so wrong?
But the first, supposedly there are 100 of these. I don't believe there's 100. Gary Hurst has said it's hard for people to remember what they ate last week, let alone what happened in 1965. But the very first proto units were built in a family little wood shop. They're wood. If you look at the top down here, I have a replica. This is essentially a decent British-made replica of the original tone bender. So it's called the tone bender wooden box tone bender. I mean, there's different slang names for it, but the real one, there's one in the United States, and you confirmed its existence. And I remember you texting me that you were sitting there, and I quit breathing, and I demanded answers.
You said that it's probably a fake.
Because everything's a fake. And when it gets to this level, this is almost a non-existent item where you wonder if it's a thing. So let's jam on this.
For the record, I'm seeing the last one on Reverb that sold for roughly $20,000.
Here it is.
That seems like too little.
Yeah, I would never at this point, because of, I mean, even a thing like this book is highlighting these stories and narratives. I think our show has helped people see the collectability and how beautiful these stories are. There's no way it would be worth less than $20,000.
Wait, Addison, were you being sarcastic?
Oh no, I'm being completely serious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was like just over $19,000 and then some shipping. Totally serious right now.
They charge shipping though.
Yeah, they did. The audacity.
All right. What do we want to play on a Mark I wooden box tone bender?
A Jeff Beck tune?
Yeah, like something kind of Yardbirdsy. Yeah, let's do a British rock 12-bar thing. So it needs to feel a little early rock and roll poppy 12-bar blues progression.
Okay.
Key of A.
Key of A, all right.
So think Yardbirds. Let me turn. Hold on. Top down here. Let me turn the pedal on.
Ooh, my
I
goodness!
like doing that.
Sweet baby Jesus.
All right.
Do you want to start this off, Josh? I feel like
take it away.
You have vision for this song.
Nick and I are waiting.
I think we just stick to the basics. So we do a progression just to keep it like straight and try to make it a little British. The fuzz will make it British. Up to the C. Yeah. Keep it basic.
We almost got it. Do the ending again. Do the ending again. 1, 2, 3, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, and
we messed it up again.
So we're gonna 1, 2. All right, do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, there it is.
That was legitness.
Listen, man, this experiment is fun.
It's
It is.
because we're British.
Yeah.
Clearly, that we could play such
Obviously.
unique. Yeah. I'm just talk about this. What was it like? I mean,
What?
you got to see that, and I want to see it and take it apart. You photographed one of the rarest things on Earth. It's a.
Oh man, I just closed it. Where
It's
was
beyond. Let me talk about how much we're gonna wrap up here in a second, but that pedal
it? A few
is
seconds.
bonkers.
Yes.
It's so significant. It's like what it did was an American device went across the ocean, was modified by British people, and came back in a British invasion. That pedal represents American music and technology crossing the ocean and coming back and taking us over. It's like amazing what that pedal represents. And I would put it, I think it needs to be in like the Smithsonian, or like put it next to the gun that killed Lincoln or something. I'm serious. It's huge. People don't realize the significance of sound in a song, in a band, people on the radio, changing how they dress because of this, changing how they think about politics. And you got to photograph it, and I'm not jealous. It's fine.
Well, you're gonna be there
Yeah.
soon, right? You're going there.
I will, but I'm right now. I'm miserable.
Yeah, I get it. So
No, it's just cool. It's very cool.
maybe we'll tell the story of Vintage and Rarities. How
Yeah.
Stompbox.
I think a quick thing to go over here is I've heard rumors and tremblings of these are expensive.
Yep.
Let's talk about money for a second.
All right.
First of all, there's a discount code. Josh has a pedal problem, 10% off. Yeah.
And
I don't know if we've said
it's
that.
it's for the duration of
for the live.
this plus 30 minutes extra.
When you finish the books, we actually had a phone call. You were asking people, what do you think these should cost? I was assuming these would cost $200 a piece. Because behind me, there's some really amazing books. $200. Like I have a Tonebender book. I think I paid $250.
Wow.
You're second guessing your pricing now, but it's fine. And I think people, a book like this is a really great book. People should buy this book. It's great. It's a book though. It has some pictures in the middle. It's $18. Really good book, by the way. A lot of our staff here are reading this book. It's
Soft cover.
Yeah, it's put it in your bag. It's a book. This is a book. This is what we think of. These are not books. These are not mere books. These are like full-on journalistic works of art, amazing photography, incredible experience, packaging. They're books that once I've read this, it's worth about $3. They're just valuable in the work that it took. This is how many years of your life?
4.
An undisclosed insane amount of money to travel around the world.
Yes.
How many days of your life did this take?
Well, 4 years.
Just
and
an insane amount.
yeah.
How many people are involved? Rough count.
Around 30 people. Top of the line editorial team, and which, by the way, was the majority of the budget went to the editorial here. Just imagine 100 interviews.
Yeah.
And then 5 features, and then the entire book with 333 pedals. Imagine how much information needs to be written here.
Yeah, I'm sympathetic towards those comments because I sell pedals for $200 and people think I'm like buying a yacht or something. Do you have a yacht with this? It's like it doesn't work that way.
I have a push bike.
Things are expensive, and these books, knowing what it takes to make something, it's incredible what you pulled off here, and the price is awesome. I thought you should have charged more, but that's fine. That's your prerogative.
So here's the thing. I mean, I worked on this for 4 years.
Yeah.
And I gotta say this: like, if I was in it for the money, I would probably go and do, I don't know,
something else.
Yeah, do I don't know, do stocks, or I don't know, work in a, I don't know, do anything but this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went ahead. I committed to this thing. I never stopped. I never thought about stopping. And actually, I kind of like accelerated and created another book in the process. And it's just the amount of time and amount of money invested in. And yeah, we're not going to be disclosing the
right.
Yeah, but
it was a couple $100 to do this.
Yeah. And but really, in all honesty, I'm just trying to break even here. So, and you know, these are limited edition with really, you know, like the highest possible production value. The printing, for example, the paper that I chose is really heavyweight. The printing itself is a special printing. It's called stochastic printing, which, you know, basically uses different finer screen to get all these color depth in, to you know, to produce all these colors, these vibrant colors.
Yeah.
We're using high chroma inks, so all the colors, you know, just to help all the colors pop. So this is some of the comments, you know, where I saw like on the web, we're saying, oh, this is like what is it, like a boutique book? And I guess you could say, yeah, it might be a boutique book, and I was trying to make it as affordable as possible, but also not losing my pants. You know, like I just want to break even, and So
I wanted to highlight there are books and there are like this is there's a stark contrast of what it takes to do this, and I think it's incredible what you have them priced at, and the people watching a live stream like this are complete nerds, and this is like the best looking high quality thing you'll ever experience in a book.
Thank you. I think a lot of people get it.
Yeah,
some people don't, and you know, but it is, you know, like when you get that reaction, it's like you know, at least for me, it was important to kind of like express that. You know, it's not, we're not trying to cash in here and get, you know, like no.
You don't have a yacht.
No,
I'm disappointed in that, but that's fine.
Right. So
any last hoorahs here?
I think we do need to. I want to tell the story of Vintage and Rarities.
Let's do that.
How that came about.
Yeah, because that's the second part of this evolved book idea.
And it's basically, you can say Vintage and Rarities is like the child of Stompbox. So while working on Stompbox, I think it was kind of like at the end of the third year, and my second trip to LA, I realized that I'm seeing a lot of, like, I'm going and shooting at a lot of places, like, you know, like a lot of these artists, I would go to their techs, for example, to their guitar tech, and they would say, all right, this is the pedal, shoot that. But then around it, I'll see all these like beautiful, amazing beat up pedals, some of them super rare. And I was like, okay, we're not really shooting these. What's going on with that?
They're just laying around.
And I spoke to Dan about it, and we came up with this idea. All right, let's make. At first, it was supposed to be just a chapter in the book, like one of the features about, like, you know, rare pedals. But then I said, well, you know, why don't we just make another book and just go all the way, all in? And that's how we started the process of getting, sourcing these rare pedals and photographing them. And basically, this is where Stompbox and Dust and Grooves kind of like merge into. It's kind of like a hybrid, because Vintage and Rarities is made possible by the community of pedal collectors and pedal, not just collectors, but pedal owners.
Yeah.
And their knowledge and their obsession with it. And and the funny thing is, like, it took us 4 years to work on Stompbox, but on Vintage and Rarities, we completed it in 6 months. And the reason is because it was just the passion. It's like a passionate community. People, like, you know, it's a network that one person gets you to the other one and to the other. It was like it spread out like fire, and the participation, like we didn't need to chase these guys, the collectors here.
All of those crazy people are like, come look at my pedals.
Yeah, as opposed to Stompbox, which, for
harder.
years we've been chasing, managements and stuff like that. So for this, that was a great way to kind of like finish up this project. And we went to these, in 6 months, we completed this book. It features these really rare, amazing pedals. A profile of each collector. We have 25 collectors overall, you included. And as you said, some of the pedals here, you never knew their existence.
I'm in the wormhole, and when I flip through this book, I would say 50% of the pedals I've never even seen. Well, I worked on the spreadsheets to help, and I was continually like, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
I've heard of this, or this is obviously some variation of this by this, but it's like so rare.
One of my favorite chapters here, or the collectors, is these two guys, Sergey and Eugene from Moscow, and they have a museum basically. They conserve. They have a mission to conserve the Soviet era pedals, and all of their collection, all of the chapter. I think it's like 25 or even more pedals. They're just like Soviet era pedals, and aesthetically they're awesome. Amazing, and I'm sure the inside as well. Another highlight on this book, for example, I got to meet quite a few people, travel to different places, to Portugal, to Japan. Here we have the Univox Super Fuzz. You told me that this is like one of those.
Yeah, it's
really.
It's very rare. First issue Univox made in Japan.
Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, this is like it's a crazy book, and
I think for the pedal collector, this is an absolute must.
Yes, this is kind of like the Bible.
It is. It's something to aspire to.
Yeah.
Like if you like collecting, it's going to cost you a lot of money when you open this book. You're going to start seeing things you didn't know existed.
Yeah, you didn't know about the Phantom Wa, right?
No,
yeah,
I had no idea.
Phantom Wa.
It's great. It's perfect.
Let's see another oddity. The Midley 200.
Yeah, I remember seeing
with all
that
these knobs. What the
I
hell?
remember Dan showing me that on the spreadsheet. I had to look. I was like, "What is this thing?"
Box. Oh, and this is kind of like my personal favorite. One of my favorites. It's Electro Harmonix Hot Foot Universal pedal, which is basically has no electricity.
You strap it onto a knob.
Yes.
Do this, and it turns the knob.
It turns the knob, which I think is just genius.
Like a steampunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a primitive, but thing. So I really like this one. And of course, Ant Macari with his original tone benders.
Nick and I have spent hours
Mark
in that tiny
Mark
room.
1.5.
Yeah.
So many. So, yeah. And just to finish it up, the cover of
this is
book.
Cool. Yes.
All right. So the cover of the book is made by a friend of mine. I mean, we became friends, just like here, kind of like a kindred spirit, you would say.
Yeah.
And he's a collage artist. His name is Morgan Jess Lapin. I hope that I'm pronouncing his name right. I asked him to send me a message saying his name correctly. He did not. So it's on you, man. But anyway, here is the he did the I asked him to basically after I finished the book, I sent him all the photos, the high-res photos from Vintage and Rarities, and said, all right, I've been following your collage work for years now. Give me something. Do some kind of like an artwork to go on the book, maybe a cityscape or something like that. And he came up with this. I mean, we worked on this together a little bit, and it's a great artwork. I really like it, and we also made a poster out of it.
Yeah.
And people who buy the brick will get the poster and included in the brick. So basically, you can buy both books in the brick in the cover here in this slip and the poster, and it's actually cheaper than both books separately. So yeah,
we have
Morgan Jesse Lapton. He goes by. He established this group of collage artists called the Brooklyn Collage Collective.
Okay.
Yes, Brooklyn Collage Collective, and yeah, he's doing amazing art. So
this is
this
is fun.
Oh,
it's a full deep dive into this.
And that idea,
madness.
I didn't.
What's
I
the
didn't
brick
give
idea?
a shout to the designer, so I should.
Who are the? Who's responsible?
It's a designer from Israel, from the motherland. Her name is Tamar, and she created this baby. She chose the fonts, and she came up with this cutout that came from the O, which is a knob. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Can we see it?
I wondered what it was.
Yeah. So the O on the it kind of became like a logo for Stompbox. So the cutout here is the same O, and that's it. We have a little bit of like foil stamping here. Wait, let's see where is it? Foil stamping.
Yeah.
And it weighs 11 pounds.
Well, we've dove as deep as we can go. 2 hours, man.
2 hours?
Fist bump. This is good. If you're hanging around, you're a special person.
Thank you.
Coupon code Josh has a pedal problem.
Yeah, still valid. Can I interfere for one?
You interfere.
All right. Because I can do what I want.
You can do what you want.
Yeah.
This is America.
This is America. So I just wanted to say, and I think I told you that before, all right? Somebody give him a napkin.
Yeah.
All right. I really admire what you established here, and if you were about to ask me, okay, what's next for me?
Yeah.
So I would say I hope I'll get to the level or the point where I can be like you, what you're doing here. So you're spearheading this pedal company, but you're doing so much more than that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're a successful. You have a successful brand. Great. A lot of people have successful brands, but you have a bunch of people here that is like, it's for me. It was really impressive. I mean, I was noticing this when I came here the first time, the second time, and the third time. This is not like they're not playing for me. They're not like giving me a show. This is for real, and they're like totally passionate. And you guys are like friends here, and the way you guys interact and brainstorm and bring in ideas and making this thing work, it's just impressive. And this teamwork is something that I aspire to.
That means a ton.
It's from the bottom of my heart, I'm telling you. And
if I could hug you, I would. I'm really proud of this team. I'm proud of how everybody excels at what they're here to do. And like what we love most is the people like you, the stories and the narratives, the history. And I think that I think our business revolves around telling story and in a way that isn't so apparent to a lot of people. And so I think that's why we get along so well. I see a lot of similarity in our motivations, and like there's a lot of pedals I've made over the years that I haven't really made any money on, but it needed to be made. And and I think that's the similar thing of just break even and give good living wages to employees here, have artists be able to come in and do their jobs and create the way they feel to create. And for me, it's always been know the 2 or 3 things I'm good at and get out of the other stuff quickly so the house doesn't burn down. And I think it makes a good environment. It's cool to hear because when you're around it, it's not so obvious, but it's cool to hear that you walk in and it feels like everyone's happy. Because they tell me they're happy and I can't trust them.
No, but I also, when I go to the production line, we went earlier today, these are not like, miserable line workers.
Right.
They're fun. Like everybody was like, happy, and I don't think
the party is down there, really.
Yeah. So what are we doing here, man? So that's
That means a lot.
Yeah,
that means a lot. I'm excited to see what you do next. You're welcome here anytime to talk about anything you're doing.
Thank you.
You're forever you're part of the team of crazy people here that are trying to
maybe
do
we can do something
creative.
together. I mean, hopefully, I don't know.
Hey,
more books.
Let's do something.
Branch out. I do have an idea for another book.
Let's talk about it. I have a lot of book ideas.
Yeah, it has to do with music, of course.
Yeah,
and it has to do with music history. How it's being represented visually.
It's cool. I'm sold.
That's all I can say at the moment. But it's a great
I'm an
idea.
Easy sell.
And it's an object that everybody has. Everybody, it's about an object that everybody has, and it tells the story of pop culture, story of music.
I'm excited to hear about that. Well, we got to wrap. This has been a blast. Big blast.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nick, Addison, everyone else in the room that doesn't want to be mentioned. Josh has a pedal problem, spaces included, 10% off. These books are incredible. Eilon is a master of what he's doing. From Dust and Grooves, if you're a vinyl record collector or a collector in general, if you love music, that book is amazing.
It's also on sale on the Stompbox.
Also for sale. I would also say that I don't even like calling them coffee table books. They're just journalistic, amazing reaches into people's collections and their habits and the things they love. So it's been great having you on here. Visit our Patreon page. If you like history, there are basically secret talks on there that I do, kind of a classroom scenarios. There's giveaways. For instance, researching the history of Ross pedals and custom amps. There's just random stuff that you don't see unless you're a patron of the show. Here's another giveaway. It's endless. Pedal color. We did the whole thing on does pedal color matter? Kind of from working on this book, and ended up being a patron. Here's another one. How to collect pedals. Stuff like that. There's also the jhsshow.com. You can go and look at all the episodes lined up in a beautiful, just aesthetic dreamland of color there. Record time, if you need music to listen to, this is everything that I've ever suggested in record time, or Nick has suggested a few. It's a great resource. That's it. We're out of here. Thanks for hanging around. Share this with your friends. Go buy the book. Bye-bye. Thanks, Eilon.